Barack Obama was a famous movie actor before becoming president. Would this be fact or fiction?
Ronald Reagan was an actor before becoming president. A president who knew how to steal the show. Could this be fact or fiction?
Jimmy Carter invented the personal computer. A president who clicked with technology.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
Lyndon B. Johnson was a famous rock musician. A president who knew how to rock the stage.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
Barack Obama was the first African-American president, breaking barriers and making history. Would this be fact or fiction?
Ronald Reagan survived an assassination attempt in 1981. Could this be fact or fiction?
James K. Polk was an astronaut before becoming president, a president who reached for the stars.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
Teddy Roosevelt was an advocate for conservation and created numerous national parks, a president who protected nature.
Would this be fact? Theodore Roosevelt invented the airplane, a president who helped us take to the sky. Would this be fact or fiction?
William Howard Taft was a professional basketball player, a president who knew how to shoot hoops. Could this be fact or fiction?
Ronald Reagan was a famous architect before becoming president, a president who built his dream.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
William Henry Harrison had the shortest presidency at 32 days, a president who left a brief mark on history.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
William Howard Taft later became Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Would this be fact or fiction?
Zachary Taylor was a career military officer before becoming president, a leader who knew how to serve. Could this be fact or fiction?
Calvin Coolidge was known as Silent Call for his quiet demeanor, a president who spoke volumes with his actions.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
Joe Biden was an Olympic speed skater, president who raced to the top.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
William Henry Harrison was the tallest president. Would this be fact or fiction?
Harry S. Truman wrote a best-selling science fiction novel, a president without of this world imagination. Could this be fact or fiction?
George H.W. Bush was a professional skateboarder before entering politics, a president who rolled into history.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
Calvin Coolidge was an accomplished tap dancer, a president who danced his way into office.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
Harry S. Truman authorized the use of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. A heavy decision. Would this be fact or fiction?
Donald Trump was a businessman and reality TV star before his presidency. President who knew the art of the deal. Could this be fact or fiction?
Donald Trump was a professional baseball player before his presidency, a president who hit it out of the park.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
Zachary Taylor had a fear of public speaking, a president who quietly made his mark.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
Did you know Donald Trump was an accomplished pianist, making keyboards great again? Would this be fact or fiction?
Martin Van Buren was the first president born an American citizen, a true blue leader. Could this be fact or fiction?
Woodrow Wilson was an Olympic gymnast, a president who flipped for his country.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
George Washington was the third president of the United States, a president with a twist on history.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
Martin Van Buren had a pet alligator in the White House. Now that's a presidential pet. Would this be fact or fiction?
Theodore Roosevelt was a vegetarian, a president who loved veggies and the environment. Could this be fact or fiction?
Woodrow Wilson was president during World War I, a president who led during turbulent times.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
Donald Trump was the third president to be impeached, a president who made history with a bang.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
George Washington was the only president unanimously elected by the Electoral College. A true leader. Would this be fact or fiction?
George Washington was the first president of the United States, the one who started it all. Could this be fact or fiction?
Joe Biden was a professional wrestler, a president who wrestled with history.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
John Tyler was the first vice president to become president after a president's death, a president who stepped up.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
Theodore Roosevelt was the youngest president at 42 years old. Would this be fact or fiction?
George Washington invented the internet, a president who connected the world. Could this be fact or fiction?
John Tyler was a professional wrestler before becoming president, a president who slammed his way into office.
Would this be
fact or fiction?
Dwight D. Eisenhower was a world war. I general before his presidency, a president who battled for peace.
Would this be
fact or fiction?